Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Remember that Nafi radiallahu ta'ala was the great student of Ibn Umar. And I think mostly, inshallah, we'll do Muwatta Imam Malik. You'll see in Muwatta Imam Malik, and Malik in Nafi in Ibn Umar, many of the riwayat, right? So Nafi, he was a free slave, I think, of Ibn Umar. أن رجلا أتى ابن عمر, came to Ibn Umar فقال إن فلانا يقرئ عليك السلام. I met such a person, and this person has conveyed salam to you. فقال إنه بلغني أنه قد أحدث. So Ibn Umar said, you know what? I heard that this person who is conveying salam, he has innovated some things in deen. In other words, some things that are strange in deen that we never get from our beloved Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So here in this context here, ahdath means basically to innovate things, but from the context here, it could also mean that he have introduced some things that are not part of deen. He's introduced some things that are not part of deen, right? But in kana qad ahdatha, see, we learn that if it is that, so you don't just take it by face value that no, that person done that. No, first, if it is like that, just you want to use my phone to do the scans, you know. If in kana qad ahdatha, yes, first verify. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا. If a person of low credibility comes to you, فتبينوا. First find out. So is it true that you said this? Is it true you said you're not going to come to Madrasa tomorrow? Is it true you said the food is not nice? Is it true you said you're not getting proper food? Whatever, right? So in case today we learn something very important. You think that Sheikh Qurtuba or Ibn Shitras. So that's a very, very important. كفى بالمرء كذبا أن يحدث بكل ما سمع. كفى بالمرء كذبا أن يحدث بكل ما. It is sufficient that a person narrates everything he hears without verifying that he be labeled, that he be branded as a liar. So just say, I heard this, I heard that. You're not sure if it's, never take the trouble to find it. First thing, it's got nothing to do with you. You're not supposed to worry. It's got nothing, if it doesn't affect your life in any way or the other, you're not supposed to worry about it. And second thing is, if it affects you in some way or the other, then you must check it out. So there's two things. When you hear something, first, من حسن إسلام المرء تركه ما لا يعنيه. That's from the beauty of the iman of a person is he doesn't bother with regards to with regards to those things. It does not concern him. First thing. Second thing, if it concerns him, it affects him in any way or the other, then you must verify. There is that. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. Second, first adab. The second one is I told you. You say, فإن كان قد أحدث. Yes, if he is such that he is coming with new things in deen. And I told you here, normally when we speak about innovation, is to bring some extra in deen. But here in this context, we learn also it means he is denying something important of deen. So denying something important of deen that it's not kufr, at the minimum it is bid'ah, right? So I told you, like how you get the three categorizations, the aqidah, you get the categorizations of bid'ah and kufr. فَلَا تُقْرِعْهُ مِنِّي السَّلَامِ. Then do not convey my salam to him. فَإِنِّي سَمِعْتُ. Because verily I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, يقول في أمتي, there will be in my ummah, أو في هذه الأمة, or in this ummah, قصف, sinking into the earth, ومسخ, or disfigurement of the faces, قصف أو قذف, قذف, I told you should put a stone. So also we speak about, like when you go for Hajj, you throw, also called قذف. في أهل القدر is those people who deny this important aspect of Qadr. رواه الترمذي, Imam Tirmidhi narrates for Abu Dawud of the Majid, وقال الترمذي هذا حسن صحيح غريب. Here the author says, inshallah, when we come under the chapter of adab and etiquette, you'll do all the masail of salam in detail there. All the masail of who should be making salam to who, like the walking person to the stationary person, the standing person to the sitting person, the elder to the younger. All of that will come at a later stage, right? But what is relevant here is that the person who is making salam is a mubtadi'. And I told you, mubtadi' could mean either introducing something new into deen, or denying some important part of deen. So don't bother to convey my salam to him. So from this you learn that as the previous hadith said, فَلَا تُجَالِسُوهُمْ فَلَا تُفَاتِحُوهُمْ. I told you that yes, if somebody is involved in something wrong, to associate with him, invite him, call him, speak to him, to be a friend with him, to the point where you hope that he can remediate himself, to the point where you hope he can remedy himself, yes. But once you ascertain that, no, this person is hell bent in his ways, there's no way I'm going to impact on him, then you shouldn't worry to befriend him, right? So the qasfun, we discussed this, qasfun, masfun, means to stones to rain down from the sky. And then I told you this happened in the time of Lut alayhi salam. The people that were involved in this act of liwat, Allah Ta'ala rained down stones from the sky. And I told you, remember I told you, all those acts for which there is severe punishment promised. Remember, and those are the kaba'ir. So, like we look at us, must, these are severe punishments. So, if a severe punishment is in promised, it means it is from the kaba'ir at a minimum. Just I told you, some ulama say those people who deny the concept of taqdeer, some ulama say it's kufr, some ulama say it is what? It is a kabira at the bare minimum. So just remember that if a person is involved in open, especially when a person is openly involved in a haram, you know, one is a person does something, but he does it stealthily, quietly, he's embarrassed about it, and he's shy about it. That's a different story. But one is, you know, he does haram openly. He's not shy about it. But then to a great extent, this hadith will apply. That you'll associate with him to the point where you feel you can make a difference in his life. But once you see this person here, there's no way I can make a difference in this person's life. He wants to continue with his drugs. He wants to continue with his bid'ah. He wants to continue with his same-sex association, etc. Then you will now make muqata. You will cut off from that person. And then we told you another point you mentioned here, that if you look at qaz, mas, and qaz, this was prevalent in the previous ummahs. And then Nabi Sallam made dua that his ummah must be saved from this. So what is the intibaq here? Nabi Sallam saying those people in Qadr, they will be afflicted with this. But at the same time, Nabi Sallam said his ummah will be saved. So that dua that was accepted means ready to what was happening as a mass scale, entire communities, etc., will not be destroyed, but individuals could be destroyed. Reading this hadith, interesting hadith, we discussed it several times. One Ali narrating the authority of Ali radiallahu anhu said, started Khadija to Nabi sallallahu. Very rarely we gave the riwayat from Hazrat Khadija because remember Hazrat Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha, she passed away before the migration to Medina to Munawwara. So she didn't spend so much time as a Muslim, you know, as after the revelation of Islam, etc. So, after the Nubuwwat. So, those hadith where our mother Khadija are mentioned are very prized and treasured with this few, as I said, she doesn't spend so much time after Nubuwwat or after Bi'asat. So anyway, سألت خديجة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عن ولدين مات لها في الجاهلية. As Khadija radiallahu ta'ala asked Nabi Sallam about two children that died for her, her two children in Jahiliyyah, means prior to the advent of Islam. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم هما في النار, they too will be in the fire of Jahannam. قال فلما رأى الكراهة في وجهها, then when he saw the disappointment and the dislike in her face, that she was disappointed now, قال لو رأيت مكانهما لأبغضتهما. If you were to see these two place, the place of them two, then you would dislike them, you detest them. قالت يا رسول الله فولدي منك, then what about my child from you, right, as Ibrahim? قال في الجنة, in Jannah. ثم قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, then Rasul said, إن المؤمنين وأولادهم في الجنة, verily the believers and their children will be in Jannah. وإن المشركين وأولادهم, and the mushrikeen and their children who will be in the fire. ثم قرأ رسول الله والذين آمنوا, those who believe, واتبعتهم ذريتهم, and their children from them, ألحقناهم بذريتهم. رواه أحمد. Imam Ahmad narrates this particular riwayat. So this is an interesting hadith. Three things that is mentioned here. The first thing is this here. Remember, I told you with regards to the children of the mushrikeen, what will their position be? There's different opinions. And the reason why there's different opinions because there's different hadith. Certain hadith suggest that they will be with their parents. Certain hadith suggest that Allah Ta'ala, certain hadith said that Allah Ta'ala know what they will do. Certain hadith say that certain opinions are that there will be the khuddam of the Jannatis. Certain riwayat say that it will be with Ibrahim in Araf, etc. And I told you the reason. There's a book called أشهر الحديث في الاختلاف بين العلماء. It's a very, very interesting book. Maybe inshallah you'll do it post. Normally the ulama advise you to read it postgraduate. And what the hadith says, the role the hadith played in the differing opinions among the ulama. You understood that? As Imam Hanifa says this, as Imam Shafi says this, as Imam Abu Yusuf says this, as Imam Muhammad says this, as Imam Malik says this. Now, where did they get all this different opinions from? They never stuck it out of their thumb, or they never take it out of their back pocket. Many a times there are different hadith on different occasions. The Nabi mentioned different things, like in the initial stage of Islam, the Nabi said something, then to the latter stage of Islam, the Nabi said something else. The laws change, you get nasikh, mansukh. So this hadith, especially for a person, maybe you can't understand why there is. People said, we got one prophet, we got one deen, we got one Quran. Why do we have different madhaib? So this book, we'll do it inshallah. I remember after I also did it 2-3 times. And even now it's been translated into English. It explains very, very beautifully why we should be tolerating the other madhaib of haqq. It explains very, very beautifully how the difference of opinion came about. And this is one example where we showed you that because of the different riwayat, there's different opinions. So we say maybe in the initial stage of Islam, the Islam remain silent. Remember the hadith of where I said, Jannah, even remember those? So maybe someone kept quiet and never said anything. Now it's trying to say, why are you speaking about something that you have no knowledge about? Speak with yaqeen, speak with certainty. So this is a separate discussion on its own. Exactly what will happen to them. Ulama try to make intibaq to say that in the initial stage of Islam, the Nabi said this, in the later stage, the Nabi said that, etc. So interesting here that Hazrat Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anhu, prior to Islam or prior to the marriage of the Nabi, she was married to a man called Hala. What was his name? And before the advent of Nubuwwat, he passed away. This hadith here is a proof for those people that are saying that if the children of the mushrikeen will be in Jahannam and the children of the believers will be in Jannah, etc. Right? So this is the mustadal. Then this is an interesting part here. لو رأيت مكانهما لأبغضتها. قالت يا رسول الله. You know what this means here? What Nabi Sallallahu is saying here? لو رأيت مكانهما لأبغضتهما. What do you think this means here? What would you say this means here? One explanation for this is that you are now you're feeling hassle for your children, but they will have such an ugly form that when you see them, you won't feel anything for them. And I remember coming across something also with regards to Ibrahim alayhi salam. Remember, Ibrahim alayhi salam was also concerned about his father, right? So, so there's a narration with regards to as Ibrahim alayhi salam, that also Allah Ta'ala will also give him a very, a disfigured form, so that when Ibrahim alayhi salam will see him, he won't feel hassle that this is my father, you understand what I'm saying? So that natural affection and that natural love that my father or my children is in the fire of Jahannam, that will be removed from the heart. That will be removed from the heart. The verse here is a very interesting verse. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَاتَّبَعَتْهُمْ ذُرِّيَّتُهُمْ بِإِيمَانٍ أَلْحَقْنَا بِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ. What does hadith saying? Those people who believed, right? وَاتَّبَعْتُهُمْ ذُرِّيَّتُهُمْ, and then their progeny followed them with iman. أَلْحَقْنَا بِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ, we will join them with their progeny. So what this hadith is saying here, that if you, for example, were a believer and you done good deeds, and by virtue of your good deeds, you attained a certain lofty status in Jannat. You attained a certain lofty, because maybe you are Hafiz, you are Alim, you are Qari, whatever. And then your children came. They say, وَاتَّبَتْهُمْ ذُرِّيَّتُهُمْ. Then your children became, and they were believers. There's a critical thing. They were believers. Doesn't say al-haq, we will join them with the, even though the children didn't earn the lofty stages, but because obviously naturally a person wants to be with his children, Allah Ta'ala will grant their children the same status as their parents. Subhanallah. Isn't that the mercy of Allah Ta'ala? وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَاتَّبَعْتُهُمْ ذُرِّيَّتُهُمْ بِإِيمَانٍ أَلْحَقْنَا بِهِمْ, we will join with them the children. So that is what the hadith is saying, that those people in Jannah, that when they attain a certain status, when the children came after Iman, then Allah Ta'ala will grant the children the same status as the parents, as a gift to the parents, that your children are with you, because in Jannah your happiness must be complete, and you will only be happy when your children are with you. And as I said, now on that point, you want your happiness to be complete. So when your children, if your children were not Muslim, as per the riwayat of Ibrahim alayhi salam, his father Azar, or some riwayat say Azar wasn't his father, was his uncle. So there Allah Ta'ala will give them such a form that naturally you will detest them. So you won't feel a sadness that my children or my parent, whatever, is in Jahannam. You understood that? So that is what the hadith means. That is what the hadith. But here, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, if you look earlier, what Nabi Sallallahu was saying was there is that, look here, the children will be with their parents. So like how children will be good children, or Iman children will be with their Muslim parents in Jannah, like that, then obviously the opposite also applies. There's a Mushrikeen children will be with their parents in Jannah. You understood that?
وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لما خلق الله آدم فتح ظهره فسقط عن ظهره كل نسمة هو خالقها من ذريته إلى يوم القيامة وجعل بين عينيه ثاني منهم قبيصا من نور ثم عرضهم على آدم قال أي ربي من هؤلاء؟ قال ذريتك. فرأى رجلا منهم فأعجبه وزيت ما بينه قال أي ربي من هذا؟ قال داود. قال أي ربي من جعلت عمره.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This hadith is also, we touched on this hadith about what happened in Alam al-Alast. Remember I told you that before, we discussed this before, there are three alams. One is Alam al-Arwah, Alam al-Alast, then the Dunya, then the Barzakh, then the Akhirat. So this is similar to what has been mentioned there with just a bit of more detail of what happened. When Abu Hurairah, narrated by Abu Hurairah, قال Rasulullah لما خلق الله آدم, when Allah Ta'ala created Adam, مسح ظهره, he passed his hand over his back, right? Masaha, he touched. فسقط من ظهري كل نسمة, then they fell from his back. كل فاعل كل نسمة, every living thing. وخالق من ذريته, that he will created from his progeny. So every progeny, it will come until Qiyamah Day. And again, remember I told you that it is a bombastic proof against Darwinism and evolution. Clear that we come from Adam alayhi salam, we not evolve from ape, etc., right? So this hadith is quite clear that every human being came from Adam alayhi salam. That's why Adam is called Abul Ins. What is it called? Abul Ins. And then, in fact, more reference will come to that. I told Allah, Surah, I told you last time, Surah Alif Lam Mim Sajda. وَبَدَأَ خَلْقَ الْإِنسَانِ مِنْ طِينٍ. Allah Ta'ala created Adam from sand, and from there, we all came from the Adam alayhi salam, right? That is clear. That is the Islamic concept. Evolution, whatever, all, no place for that in Islam, right? Whether we understand it, whether we don't understand it, this is another salient feature of us, the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. We put naqal above aqal. What? we put naqal about aqal when something is clearly emphatically proven from the Quran and Sunnah, and then even if science goes against it, we put science one side. Obviously, this is when it's authentic hadith of Quran and Sunnah, authentic stuff. We don't say that like a weak hadith. So this is another side. This is like another salient feature of us, Al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah. When hadith is authentic, whether we understand it or not, we let it conform to science or not, we put science on. A simple example of that I told you, like, we said it's over 80 different riwayat of different Sahaba Ikram that says Isa alayhi salam has been raised to the heavens and he will come. Now you say, how does a person, the man can't even go to the moon, he must go to space shuttle, he must wear space, how does he breathe, all that type of thing there. Here we say the man is in heaven. So here we got copious riwayat which are authentic. So whether we understand how he went or not, we don't, because I thought it's over 80 riwayat that speak about Nuzul Isa, they speak about, so same thing here. So one of the hadith is quite clear that from the back of, I told you this two explanations last time, either or came one time out of his back, or it came like this. Like, for example, your father came out, then you came from your father, and then your child came from, could be both ways, doesn't make a difference, right? The text accommodates for both, right? So, كل نسمة هو خالق من ذرية الله. So every living thing that Allah Ta'ala was created from his ذريته, from his progeny till the day of Qiyamah. وجعل بين عينيه كل إنسان منهم وبيسا من نور. And Allah Ta'ala made between the eyes of every human being from amongst them وبيسا من نور, a luminous, a light, or a whiteness of light. ثم عرضهم على آدم, and then he said, brought it in front of Adam. He put them all in front of Adam. Some riwayat says they were like in a tray. فقال أي رب من هؤلاء. So then Adam alayhi salam, Ya Allah, who are these people now? What is this you're putting in front of me? قال قال ذريتك. This is all your progeny, right? فرأى رجلا منهم. He saw one from them. فأعجبه وبيث ما بين عينيه. Then the luminosity between his eyes impressed him. In other words, as Adam saw one of his children, he had especially bright light. قال أي رب من هذا? Who is this one? قال داود عليه السلام. قال أي رب كم جعلت عمره? Oh, this is a very, very special child of mine, right? How much did you allot for him the age? قال 60 سنة, 60 years. قال Rabbi zidhu min umri. Oh, this is a very, very special child of mine. Rabbi zidhu, increase it from my age, give him from my age. No, a parent loves his child so much that when some type of difficulty come, you say, Ya Allah, rather take the difficulty away from my child and put it on me. Rather, there's an incident here, some people that we know, that the son is in prison now. The son is in prison for some reason or the other. So the father saying all the time, I'll rather go sit in a prison. He must come out. I'll rather go sit in his place. If the authorities will allow, they want a guarantee, I'll go sit in a jail. He's in prison in a foreign land somewhere else. Tell him he go sit rather. So that is the love of a parent for his child. So, Zidhu min umri arba'ina, give him 40 of my years. Sanatan, so it means he must have 100 years. قال رسول فلما قضى عمر آدم إلا 40. So then, whatever Adam was life was left, not only that 40 that he gave to Adam alayhi salam was now remaining, right? That what he gave it to his جاء ملك الموت. The angel of death came فقال آدم أولم يبقى من عمري 40. So قال Adam, so Adam said, did not remain from my age except 40. قال أولم تعطه ابنك. Yes, didn't you give this to your son Daud? فجحد آدم. So Adam alayhi salam, maybe he forgot now that he gave, or now he's regretting that why he's going. فجحد, so he said, no, I want my 40 years. So فجحد آدم فجحدت ذريته. Adam started arguing and his children also started arguing. That's just, now can I say in English, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right? Or you say, he's the chap of the old block. Like whatever your characteristics your parents have, you'll have the same characteristics, right? وَنَسِيَ Adam. So Adam also forgot. فَأَكَلَ مِنَ الشَّجَرَةِ. He ate from the forbidden tree. Was it verse number? Do not come to this tree. ولا تقرب هذه الشجرة فتكونا من الظالمين فأزلهما الشيطان عنها فأخرجهما مما كان فيه. Right? So Adam فَنَسِيَتْ ذُرِّيَّتُهُ. His progeny also forgot. وَخَطَأَ آدَمُ, and Adam has made a mistake. وَخَطَأَتْ ذُرِّيَّتُهُ, and his children also made a mistake. Like how he made a mistake, he ate from the tree that he's not supposed to eat. His children also ate from the tree that they're not supposed to eat. So this hadith is very similar to the hadith that you know, the relevance is taqdeer, that Allah Ta'ala created everybody. Allah Ta'ala know who will be created. Allah Ta'ala know who will do what. Everybody's age is fixed, etc., etc. So this is very much similar to the other hadith, but there's just some extra here. Like we got here, wabisan lam'anan wa shi'a'an min nurin. So here they say, it refers to, here it wasn't a physical light, but it was a spiritual light which Allah Ta'ala gave everybody. And as Dawud alayhi salam's light was greater than everybody else's. And I remember I told you, we discussed this several times before, that if you see a particular virtue for a Nabi besides Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, now I told you, we discussed this several times, that does not mean that Nabi is greater than Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. One is just, if a Nabi has one particular virtue more than Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, then it doesn't mean he's more virtuous in every aspect. Al-fadilatu al-juz'iyatu la tastalzimu al-fadil kulliyah. So that doesn't mean as a whole Dawud alayhi salam is more virtuous than Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This one. And another explanation for all these type of riwayat where you see that a Nabi has a virtue that Nabi didn't have, we say that Nabi also had that. Normally, like, you know, when a mutakallim speak, he leaves out himself. He don't speak about himself. So it could be that Nabi's light was even brighter than Dawud alayhi salam, but you speak about somebody else. You may have a good quality in you. You may have a strong quality in you. But you speak, oh, I saw this guy, he plays very well, or he reads very well. He's a good reader, whatever. Or he's a very pious person. That doesn't mean you try to say that that person is more pious than you, whatever. So normally the mutakallim, he leaves himself out. He doesn't speak about himself. So we're giving you the answers to show you, to reinforce the belief that according to us, I told you, I mentioned to you that there was a sheikh from America that came there to the Musgrave Masjid in Durban, Sheikh Siraj al-Wahhaj, and he tried to push this one here, that as Ibrahim alayhi salam was more virtuous than Nabi Sallallahu, and then our ulama spoke out against it. So here are the answers. You got all the answers where you see a particular virtue attributed to a Nabi besides Nabi Sallallahu. But as a mutakallim, or you could say it was in the initial stages before Nabi Sallallahu learned that he was the best Nabi, or it was maybe the tawadu, the humility of Nabi Sallallahu. Okay, we'll stop there. We'll continue tomorrow, inshallah. Just a small portion of the hadith left. We'll do this tomorrow, inshallah. Let's stop there.